Thunder rolled through the Perseus's hull as it pierced the upper atmosphere of Thalassa. Outside, the tempest was unnatural. Crimson streaks laced the violet sky, and electromagnetic pulses rattled the comm array. Nova's pulse matched the rhythm of those storms. 2 years since Thalassa's silence, and they'd finally sent her, barely more than a name among legends, untested and alone among veterans. "Status report?" crackled Captain Singh's voice through Nova's headset, tension as sharp as flint. Nova tucked a stray braid behind her ear, eyes locked on the jumble of static readings. "Atmospheric interference is off the charts. Colony grid, completely dark. Not even an automated ping." Singh muttered, "Just like the rumors said. Approach vector locked in. Nova, time to earn your pay." As Perseus touched down, landing thrusters hissing against the blue-black soil, Nova's boots found purchase on the new world. Silence hugged the ruins of New Horizon Station. No wind, no birds, just the low thrum of the ship's idle core. Here, humanity's promise lay shattered. She advanced, flashlight darting over abandoned machinery and shattered glass. That's when her comlink chirped, an anomaly detected. Data scrolled across her visor, fragmented but unmistakable, a ping from deep beneath the colony, coupled with a faint digital message in archaic code. Nova's breath caught. "Singh, I've got something." Not a distress call, more like a warning. Her voice trembled, hope warring with dread. Singh responded with a steadiness she envied. "What's it say?" Nova squinted at the scrambled words. It read, "We chose this. Do not wake them." Above her, lightning traced a lattice-work pattern across the sky, almost mathematical. Nova's mission had changed before it even began. She stood at the edge of a mystery, the fate of a colony and maybe more, hanging on the last signal they'd left behind. The world beyond New Horizon Station seemed to hold its breath. Nova's boots echoed as she trekked through empty corridors, her flashlight catching dust motes swirling in the still air. With every step, the weight of the warning gnawed deeper. We chose this. Do not wake them. Who were they? Nova shook off the chill crawling up her spine, her headset pinged with static. "Nova, status?" Captain Singh asked, voice tight with anticipation from the Perseus's bridge. "Heading below ground. Tracking the anomaly," Nova answered. Her fingers trembled on her scanner as she traced the signal. "There's an elevator shaft leading down into the old research wing." A tense silence on the line. "Do not proceed alone. Our sensors show power spikes near your location. This isn't standard tech." Nova forced a smile, though no one could see. "Wasn't expecting a warm welcome. Sending you a map overlay." A soft, digital chime signaled Singh's reply. "Copy. I'm pulling Team B to station perimeter. If you lose comms, double back." Nova rested her hand against the elevator controls. Instead of the smooth hum of maglev lifts back home, the shaft groaned and descended in jerks, the lights flickering as the storms above sent new tremors through the building. As she reached sublevel 3, the scanner's pulse quickened, syncing with a deep vibration thrumming from below. She pressed onward. Doors parted into a cavernous lab lined with consoles frozen mid-use, holograms flickering ghost-like over abandoned workstations. In the center, embedded in the floor, a faint glow outlined a strange triangular lattice, chiseled into the foundation itself. Nova crouched by the lattice, reaching for the console. Symbols, more alien than human, danced across the interface. As her fingers hovered, her visor flickered, another message streaming directly into her feed. "They watch if you seek. Patterns may bind us all." "Captain, you seeing this?" Nova called, voice barely above a whisper, but only harsh static answered, thunder rolling above ground. Nova was truly alone now, with darkness behind and an alien puzzle before her. She took a deep, shaky breath. Whatever the colonists found down here, it changed everything, and it was up to her to decide if humanity would survive its own curiosity. Rain hammered New Horizon's shattered skylight above, the storm's syncopated rhythm matching the faint pulsing glow from the lattice at Nova's feet. She ran her fingers across the cold metal, too sharp for anything humans had forged. The air down here was thick with old fear and secrets. Suddenly, a flicker on the edge of her vision, a figure in a pressure suit dashing past the gloom at the far end of the lab. Nova's heart leapt. "Wait!" She gave chase. Her boots clanged on metal walkways, flashlight beam darting. She caught sight of a red stripe on the suit's arm, a rank insignia. Nova's comm buzzed with static, her voice strained. "Identify yourself!" The figure froze, turning enough for Nova to see the faceplate, empty. No sign of life, only a cracked helmet and flashes of something too dark to be blood inside. Before she could react, the hallway lights burst to life, flooding the corridor with sterile white. Behind her, the lattice hummed, its symbols shifting. Nova's comm crackled unexpectedly. "Nova, do you copy?" It was Singh, faint, desperate. "You need to get topside. Storm's intensifying and our scanners show a power spike right where you are." But Nova's curiosity had burst past caution. "Captain, there's something not right down here. I found the lattice and I saw, well, there was someone or something. I think there's another level below this. I'm sending my feed." Static. "Then Nova, I'm ordering you up." The ground shuddered, dust raining from overhead panels. Holoscreens across the lab flickered on. Shaky video logs began playing. A woman in scientist's blue, conducting final experiment today. "There's no going back. If we broadcast again, they'll come. We have to sever everything. For Earth's sake." A man's voice trembling. "We never meant to. Listen to the storms, Nova. That's where the sequence is hidden." Nova's eyes widened. The storms. She glanced upward as the thunder drummed harder, stealing another glance at the shifting lattice, symbols swirling like a code. Fear grappled with determination. She could run, or she could stay and face what the colonists had died to protect. She set her jaw. She was done running. Nova knelt at the edge of the alien lattice, forcing her breathing steady. The whispers of the past played in her ears, the warning, the terrified voices, the storms hiding a sequence. Thunder bellowed again, rattling the bones of the structure. She dug into her utility belt for her portable spectrum analyzer. She tuned the scanner to the storm's frequency. At first, just shrill static. Then, as she filtered the signal through the ship's decryption algorithms, small patterns emerged, bursts and pulses too deliberate to be random. The lattice's glow brightened in tandem. Suddenly, the emergency stairwell door wrenched open, banging hard. Nova swung around, pulse racing. A figure in Perseus tactical gear stumbled through, Sergeant Morel, face slick with rain and fear. "Nova," he barked. "Captain says evac's in effect? He's losing signal fast. You have to move now." Nova squared her jaw, holding up a hand. "Morel, the colony didn't just go dark. They chose it. There's a code in the storm and the lattice is reacting. We could be sitting on an automated defense or worse." He eyed the glowing floor uneasily. "If the colonists wanted isolation, maybe we ought to listen. Or we're the only ones who can stop what's coming," Nova countered. "Help me record the storm patterns. We have minutes, maybe less." The two crouched by the lattice, Nova funneling data from her scanner into a portable drive. Morel keyed observations into his gauntlet, reading from a trembling note left near a fossilized data slate. Lattice must never align. Signal must not harmonize. Above, the storm reached a fever pitch. The entire sublevel vibrated as the lattice's frequency synced to the sequence overhead. Triangular waves, matching the pattern etched in the floor. Holoscreens sparked on, showing the colony's final hours. Chaos, lockdown, the desperate scrawl of hands across consoles as something invisible forced its way between the storm and the station. Morel looked at Nova, fear finally hardening into grim resolve. "Either we decode this and silence it, or we risk everything getting out. What's the play, Nova?" Nova met his gaze, determination burning. "We go deeper. The answers and the danger are below." And with that, they opened the hatch to the hidden sub-basement, bracing for whatever humanity was never meant to know. An icy wind twisted upward as Nova and Morel descended the ladder into the sub-basement. Below, everything felt older, honed by something ancient long before the colony arrived. The air itself tingled, charged with unfamiliar energy. Nova felt the lattice's low hum pulsing through her boots, as if the planet itself was alive. Morel scanned the darkness with his tack light. "You sure about this? Not too late to head topside." Nova peered into the pitch, her voice unwavering. "If we don't end what started here, the next storm could do more than erase a colony." They pressed forward, the corridor angling downward in a spiral. Pipes overhead sweated beads of phosphorescence, casting a ghostly glow. At the tunnel's end, a blast door blocked their path. On its face, more alien symbols glowed in sync with the storm's electric dance above. Nova approached, analyzer at the ready. As thunder rattled overhead, the symbols spun, then locked into a new configuration, mirroring the pattern she'd recorded from the storm. Her device vibrated in her hand. Morel huffed. If we match the sequence, are we opening a door or a cage? Nova's mind raced. If it's a warning, the sequence might lock it for good. If it's a call, well, I'm betting the colonists tried both. As the next pulse hit, Nova carefully entered each triangular wave into the panel. It accepted her input. Then the door screeched open, heavy as gravity. The air bristled with static. Before them spread a shadowed chamber carved into the raw bedrock. In its center, a second, more massive lattice webbed the room, sparkling with dancing energy. Looming, a battered recording unit blinked to life. A woman's face, pale but resolute. If you must be human. We did not fail. We sacrificed our voices so others would never follow. The lattice is not a key, it's a firewall. Don't let them through. The recording fizzed away as something shifted deep in the chamber's core. A presence older and colder, stirring itself awake as the storm's signal reached its crescendo. Morel swallowed hard, whispering, "Nova, it's not just a message, it's a prison, and something inside wants out." Their mission was no longer to rescue, but to contain. The fate of humanity teetered on their next move. A dense, metallic tang filled the chamber as Nova and Morel stepped inside, guided by the glow of the massive alien lattice web. Sparks twined across its lines, illuminating cryptic warnings in both human and alien script. Thunder shook dust from the stone ceiling, nature's drumbeat to their trespass. Morel's fingers hovered over his sidearm, nerves stretched tight. If this is a prison, what's the prisoner? Nova checked her analyzer. The frequency, the lattice, it's reacting like a firewall to the storm's signal. The colonists must have bound something here after first contact. Suddenly, a flicker at the edge of the web, a shadow, pulsing with unnatural movement. Forms took shape, indistinct and shifting, energy patterns not quite alive but not dead either. The comm chirped, startling Morel. Captain Singh's voice crackled through, intermittent but urgent. "Nova, reading Spike's unstable energy signature. You need to?" A harsh burst of static, then silence returned. For the first time, the Perseus was truly out of reach. Nova steadied her hand, voice low. "This is what the colonists found. This is what made them go silent." She gestured to the recording device's log. "Let's see what else these people left behind." Together they scanned through desperate video diaries. Pleading engineers, a security chief in tears, a scientist gone hoarse explaining how the storms themselves became a lock, nature as the final warden. Every log ended the same way. No signal. No rescue. This is the price. The shadow surged, thrumming louder. Lattice lines flared brighter, cycling between locking patterns and sudden, dangerous failures. Nova's analyzer flared red. The sequence in the storm was close to harmonizing with the lattice. If the cycles matched, the firewall would break, and whatever was inside would be unleashed. Morel grabbed Nova's shoulder. "We have to disrupt the sequence. Now!" Nova's jaw clenched. Logic warred with fear. She had always been the underdog, the technician passed over for command, now holding humanity's future by a thread. She remembered the scientist's last message, "Patterns may bind us all." She snapped into action, fingers flying over her device to inject random pulses into the lattice's rhythm. Sweat stung her eyes as she struggled to throw the harmonics off, to crash the cycle before the next storm peak. The room vibrated dangerously as the energies clashed and flickered. Above, the storm howled, and the prisoner within the web thrashed for freedom. Nova and Morel braced themselves as the fate of the colony, and perhaps Earth, teetered on the edge of the code she was fighting to rewrite. Time seemed to slow as Nova typed in randomized pulses, sweat slicking her hands. Each keystroke disrupted another fraction of the lattice's repeating sequence, but the storm outside was relentless, its rhythm thrumming through the bedrock as the alien web shimmered on the brink of resonance. Every surge of the storm was met by another strike inside the prison. The dark shadow within pulsed visibly, gaining definition, a swirling mass of geometric light, its jagged edge brushing the lattice barrier. It was neither creature nor machine, but an intelligence made of signal and intent. Morel's voice trembled as he steadied her arm. "It's learning us. Every code you use, it adapts." "I know," Nova shot back, her frustration breaking through, "but we don't have a better option. Unless—" The logs flashed in her memory. "Patterns may bind us all." The colonists weren't just randomizing. They bound the prison to their own brainwave signatures, keyed into their collective consciousness. But now their link was broken. Nova drew a shaky breath, searching for resonance with her own signature, hers and Morel's. She rigged her analyzer directly to her neural lace. If we sync our minds to the lattice, become the new lock, maybe we can replace what's breaking. Sounds insane, Morel muttered, eyes wide, but he nodded. Let's do it. Coppery tendrils of holographic codes swarmed around them as Nova initiated the neural handshake. The lattice's glow steadied, pulse matching their heartbeats, their memories flickering before their eyes. Childhood fears, lost loved ones, ambitions and regrets. The shadow slammed into the lattice and pain lanced through Nova's mind. A test, or maybe a plea. What is it seeing? Morel groaned, sweat beading on his brow. Everything, Nova whispered. Not just her memories, but her stubbornness, hope and fear that she'd never be enough. Hold on, if we flinch, the pattern fails. Together they bore down, fighting to hold the sequence with the strength of their own will. The storm outside howled one last deafening crack, and for a moment, human minds and alien lattice pulsed as one. A new firewall formed through sacrifice and courage. The room's light stabilized, the lattice sealed, the shadow receded, howling without a voice. Nova collapsed to her knees, trembling, tears streaming unchecked. Morel knelt beside her, breathless. Did we do it? Did we actually hold it? Nova forced a faint, shaky smile. For now. But the lattice keeps asking, who are we to judge what survives? Above ground, the storm began to ebb, and with it, the first faint crackle of a signal struggled toward the Perseus. A chance for hope or for warning. Nova's mind reeled as the intensity of the neural sync eased, the prison momentarily fortified beneath their willpower. She shakily removed the neural lace, the memory of alien awareness lingering at the edge of her thoughts. Morel looked like he'd aged a decade, pain carved into the lines of his face, but determination burned brighter than fear in his eyes. The air in the chamber was less charged, but the heaviness remained. The holographic logs flickered to life once more, almost as if the alien lattice itself was drawing their attention. A new log, time-stamped mere days before the blackout, played in a wavering voice. We've contained it, for now, but the lattice needs more than code. It needs heart, mind, spirit. The lattice learns. It will demand sacrifice or evolve. Only by understanding ourselves can we hold back what waits in the storm. Nova rubbed her eyes, voice raw. They didn't just sever contact. They gave everything to hold the firewall. This is what humanity is to the galaxy. Resilient, even when terrified. A silence lingered between them before Morel broke it softly. We're not out of time yet. Storm's clearing. Signals rising. Maybe we can warn Perseus. Maybe even Earth. Nova nodded, staggering to her feet. She tapped into the analyzer and tied it into her suit comms, directing what little power remained to punch a message past the weakened storm. She braced herself. The signal was weak, but not lost. Perseus, this is Nova. The threat below is contained, a prison, not a beacon. The colony sacrificed themselves to keep it locked. Recommend immediate lockdown of all lattice research and initiate planetary quarantine. Do not repeat. Do not attempt recovery. Static, then a sliver of Singh's voice. Nova, reading partial. Are you safe? Is the threat contained? She exhaled, relief flooding her system. Affirmative, but we're not leaving yet. There's one more thing to set right. Send a drone. Broadcast our warning to all settled worlds. Morel helped her sit. You think they'll listen? Or will someone always want to open the box again? Nova traced the web of the lattice. Someone always will. But if we can make them understand the cost, maybe next time, curiosity will be paired with caution. Above, the last peal of thunder faded. The ancient lattice still pulsed, waiting for the next challenge, the next test of spirit. Nova felt something shift inside her, no longer just an underdog surviving, but a guardian bearing the scars of understanding. Tomorrow, the world might change. Tonight, she would live in the silence she fought so hard to protect. Grit and fatigue weighed on Nova as she and Morel exited the chamber, the path as quiet as a crypt. Behind them, the lattice returned to its subtle, watchful hum, thrumming with every heartbeat, every memory that had passed between human and alien. Nova found herself changed. The strange communion had left fragments of clarity and doubt within her. Climbing back up toward the shattered surface levels, Morel checked his suit's life support. You felt it too, didn't you? Like it left part of itself in us. Nova nodded, unsure how to put it into words. It's seen how badly we want answers, but it's also tasted our fear. If anyone tries to open that prison again, the test will be harder. They pushed past collapsed corridors and the haunted echoes of abandonment, boots sliding on glass and twisted metal. Outside, dawn's light finally broke through cracks in the battered dome. The sky, scrubbed clean by the storms, was eerily clear. In the distance, Perseus waited, the ship's shape wavering like a familiar dream through lingering mist. Nova paused at the threshold, glancing back toward the colony's center. We didn't just survive. We inherited a burden that's bigger than any one colony. Morel managed a shaky grin. I never thought I'd see the day when being stubborn could save worlds. What do we tell the next team? Assume every silence is a warning? She smiled, quieter now. That's a start, and we build better locks. Maybe we let others decide whether they want to share the burden too. No secrets. Not after this. A drone hissed overhead, dropping a radiation-shielded relay. Nova plugged in their battered drive, uploading their warning, video logs, and everything the lattice had forced them to witness. In orbit, Perseus prepared to broadcast across the system. A beacon, not of discovery, but caution. Just as the relay completed its upload, Nova's visor flickered. She glanced up, heart pounding. For a split second, a new symbol appeared in the sky, etched in lightning, reflected in the lattice and her own mind. It wasn't just a prison. It was a test. Humanity wasn't the first to face it, and would not be the last. Morel squeezed her shoulder, grounding her. Nova looked at the world she'd almost lost, and the vast galaxy beyond. Ahead, one final task remained, closing New Horizons Station forever, and deciding what rules would guide those who dared to seek out the next signal. The ruins of New Horizons Station glowed weakly under Thalassa's new dawn. It felt at last like the colony had found peace. But Nova's heart was heavy. Respect for the lost, hope for what her warning might save, and an uneasy wisdom thrumming beneath her skin from the lattice's alien communion. Morel walked at her side, silent, his gaze flicking between the horizon and the relay's blinking confirmation on his wrist. The message was already spreading. Earth, Perseus, every outpost from Luna to Europa warned to stay away. Nova keyed in the last override, preparing to activate the lockdown protocol. An automated voice echoed in the empty corridors. Final closure in progress, all systems secure. Access to New Horizons Station is now restricted until further notice. Before sealing the external doors, Nova paused. Looking back at the sealed stairwell, the lattice chamber now locked in darkness, she whispered, "Thank you, for the warning, for your sacrifice, for reminding us we're all part of something bigger." From the ship, Captain Singh's comm finally crackled through, clearer than before. Nova, Morel, drones show no more energy spikes and planetary scans have stabilized. Perseus is ready to retrieve. How copy? Nova breathed out, letting relief wash over her. Well enough, sir. Requesting debrief and strongest quarantine flag in history. Singh's tone softened. You brought them home, Nova, their story and yours. The system will listen. The two made their way back to the Perseus. The path now less threatening, the old fears finally giving way to respect for all that remained unknown. Nova glanced at Morel, a real smile breaking through, for herself, for humanity. Maybe I always thought I'd run from things I couldn't fix. Not anymore. Morel grinned. You think you'll ever stop being the underdog? She shook her head, eyes bright. Maybe that's the only way to win against the impossible. Above them space was wide, the future uncertain. But Nova, once a nameless tech, now the voice that saved worlds, stepped aboard Perseus with Morel, knowing she carried the scars and hopes of Thalassa's colony into the stars. As the ship lifted, leaving behind silent warnings for the next explorer, Nova offered one last look back. The storms had faded, the lattice's pattern resting. Whatever came next, humanity would face it, scarred, stubborn, but wiser. And far beyond Thalassa, where other signals whispered in distant storms, the galaxy waited, never truly silent, testing who would endure and who would listen.